What's up, geometry? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. We are going to be looking at lesson 3.2, which is statements, conditionals, and biconditionals. Be prepared and buckle up for a lot of writing today because it's a lot of statements. Compound statements for conjunctions and disjunctions, determining truth values of statements, related conditionals, identifying hypotheses, conclusions, and then analyzing biconditional statements and determining truth values of those things. Okay? Of course, we are going to start off with some definitions. So, conditional statement is a compound statement that consists of a hypothesis and a conclusion, and it is false only when the conclusion is false. Okay? So I don't have a picture or an example for you yet, but we'll talk about here in a minute. An if-then statement is a compound statement of the form if P then Q. And so you're going to see a lot of P's and Q's today, like mind your P's and Q's. Well, that's kind of where it comes from. We're going to be seeing this format. So if you ever see this, that just means if P, then Q. And P and Q we'll talk about as the hypothesis and the conclusion. Okay? So, going on to hypothesis, that is the phrase immediately following the word if. This is also known as the cause. So whenever you talk about like cause and effect, something happens. That thing that usually happens first will be the hypothesis. So for example, I'm going to give you a statement, like the conditional statement we will have, if it rains, then the practice will be canceled. Okay? So this is written in a format of a conditional statement. So the hypothesis of that statement is if it rains. So the rain, it is raining, that is the hypothesis. Okay? A conclusion is the phrase immediately following the word then. Okay? This is more known as the effect. So the cause is what starts it. The hypothesis, the conclusion is what's going to end it, that drawing conclusion. So if it rains is the hypothesis, then the practice will be canceled, is the conclusion. Okay? So take your time now, pause the video here if you need to finish writing in everything. Once you're ready to go on, let's go ahead and click play and try some examples. Okay? Example 1, identifying the hypothesis and the conclusions. I'm trying to get my writing pen out. Here we go. Okay. So, if a polygon has 6 sides, then it's a hexagon. If a polygon has 6 sides, that's the hypothesis. And then it's a hexagon, that's the conclusion. Okay? Sometimes, though, you don't have it written in if-then form, so you have to think about cause and effect. So like letter B, another performance will be scheduled if the first one is sold out. So what has to happen first is identifying these two things. Okay? If the performance is sold out, is going to have to happen first. So the hypothesis will be if the first performance is sold out. Because you need to think about what's the cause here. Okay? The effect or the conclusion would be another performance will be scheduled. Okay? That performance does not get scheduled unless the first one gets sold out. So that is why it's the conclusion, because it happens last. That would be your effect, okay? So sometimes it's written backwards, not in the if-then format, and you have to be careful about choosing your cause and effect, okay? Example 2, if you want to pause it, try it on your own, go ahead. If not, let's go ahead and try it. Identify hypothesis and conclusion, then write it in the if-then format. I'm going to just go ahead and type these. So, hypothesis is the 4 quarters, and then the conclusion can be exchanged for a $1 bill, okay? You gotta have 4 quarters to get your exchange of $1. So if you have 4 quarters, then you can exchange it for a $1 bill, okay? Cause and effect, right? There you go. Letter B, the sum of the measures of 2 supplementary angles is 180, okay? So, hypothesis is, hypothesis is the sum of, 2 angles measuring 180 degrees sum. The conclusion would be they are supplementary. They are 2 supplementary angles. Okay? The reason why is because you need to make sure they add up to be a 180 first before you can just say that they are, before you can categorize them as supplementary. So, if 2 angles are supplementary, or if 2 angles sum measures to be 180 degrees, then they are supplementary angles. Okay? Technically, if you wanted to say, flip it around, if 2 angles are supplementary, then the sum of their angles, sum of their measures, is 180 degrees, okay? That could be flipped around if you say the hypothesis is 2 angles are supplementary and the conclusion is the sum of their angles, okay? Next up, conditional statement. A statement that has a hypothesis and a conclusion and it is false when the conclusion is false. Excuse me. So, example conditional statement. If it rains, then the parade will be canceled. Okay? I'm going to come back and notate some of these with using P's and Q's. Next. Converse, exchanging the hypothesis and the conclusion. If the parade is canceled, then it has rained. Okay? Inverse, negating both hypothesis and conclusion of a conditional statement. If it doesn't rain, then the parade won't be canceled. And then contrapositive is negating both hypothesis and conclusion of the converse of the conditional. Okay? So that would just be this. If the parade isn't canceled, then it does not rain. Okay? Now, there are a few ways to write this. I'm going to show you your P's and Q's. So, a conditional statement, if it rains, then the parade is canceled. That is a P, then Q. Okay? So, raining is P, and then the parade's canceled, that's Q. Converse is flip-flop of that. So that is Q, then P, right? Because you have exchanging the hypothesis, raining, with the conclusion, canceling parade. Inverse is negating that. So not P to not Q. If it doesn't rain, then the parade won't be canceled. And then contrapositive is negating the converse. So not Q, not P. If the parade doesn't get canceled, then it does not rain. Okay? You got to know the orders of these, so make sure you got them written down. So conditional is P then Q. Converse is Q then P. Inverse, not P, not Q. Contrapositive, not Q, not P. Take a moment, pause it here. When you're ready, let's go ahead and finish out with some examples. We might get interrupted by the bell because it's going to ring soon, but that's okay. Here we go. All right, given the conditional statement, write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive. Conditional statement, you need to write an if-then form. So, all birds have feathers. If an animal is a bird, then it has feathers. Okay, that was P then Q. Converse of that, if an animal has feathers, then it is a bird. Okay, so we're just flipping around the hypothesis and the conclusion. Inverse, we're negating the conditional. If an animal is not a bird, then it does not have feathers. And then contrapositive, that is negating the converse. If an animal does not have feathers, then it is not a bird. Okay? Look good? I'm going to have you if you need to, pause here. But if not, we're going to come back here and try this on your own. So pause it. Your conditional statement's already written in if-then format. I want the converse, inverse, and contrapositive it, and go. All right, converse, flipping that. If it's the 4th of July, I'm going to put this here. That is your P. Then there are fireworks in Pavilion. That will be your Q. Okay? All right? So, converse is flipping that around. If there are fireworks in Pavilion, then it is the 4th of July. The inverse of that, we're just negating the conditional statement. So if it is not the 4th of July, then there are not fireworks in Pavilion. Okay? And then contrapositive, we're going to negate the converse. If there are not fireworks in Pavilion, then it is not the 4th of July. Okay? Onward. A little bit more. Last bit. Biconditional statement. The conjunction of a conditional, which is P then Q, and its converse, which is Q then P. Okay, I'm going to show you what that looks like here in the examples. And the wording is going to sound like this. P if and only if Q. okay? So that just looks like this. It's gonna look kind of weird, but I'll explain it here in a second, okay? P then Q gets mashed up with Q then P, then we can write that as P with like two little arrows and a Q. That just means P if and only if Q, okay? One more thing to be thinking about when you talk about your biconditionals, I want to put a star here, only can be written if both the conditional and the converse are true. Okay? Pause here if you need to. Once you're ready to go on, we're going to click play and try 2 more examples. All right, write the conditional and the converse for each statement. Determine if they're true or false. If false, write a counterexample, but if true, write the biconditional. Letter A, Rasha listens to music when she is in the hall. So conditional would be this. If Rasha is in the hall, then she is listening to music. Remember, what happens first? She's in the hall, therefore she's listening to music. Okay? That can be true. Converse of that is flipping around Q then P. If Raja is listening to music, then she is in the hall. That can be false. Why? She could listen to music other places. Okay? So biconditional is not possible because the converse is false. Okay? So let's see what happens if we try an example where maybe the converse could be true. Write the conditional and converse here. If 2 angles are complements, then their measures have sum of 90 degrees. So conditional is already written for us. If 2 angles are complements, then their measures have a sum of 90 degrees. True. Okay? Converse, let's switch around. If 2 angles have a sum of 90 degrees, then they are complements. That is true. So because the converse is true, we can write the biconditional.
Good afternoon. Sorry for the interruption. Just a reminder for those going to the South football game tonight, we will be back in the bleachers on the south end of the stadium, closest to the baseball fields. Remember, no paint is allowed into the concourse or into the bleachers, into the football field. No hanging around or running around the concourses, and just a reminder that it is on school grounds, so our behavior is expected as part of
That's
the
right,
game.
Titans.
Thank you.
Great reminders if you're going to the game. Okay. Biconditional statements would be if and only if P then Q. So 2 angles are complements if and only if they have a sum of 90 degrees. Okay? So we talked a lot about that, a lot about things in this video. Take your time and go back to re-watch any of those things. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have the best day, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.